Before coming to YWAM, I was really struggling with panic attacks and just felt like my whole life was controlled by fear. A lot of the time I didn't want to go to school or even leave my bed. So I started having them when I was 13, and at first I didn't think it was that big a deal. I just got on with it, thought it was something I had to deal with. It kind of felt like the walls were closing in around me and like I couldn't breathe. It's just like this super intense feeling that you just can't, you feel like you have no control over anything. And then when I was like 18, it got to the point where I was having them every single day and just couldn't imagine living without them. I thought like I obviously was just created like that. If I do this, am I gonna have a panic attack? If I go to school today, am I gonna have one? So when God was like, you should go to Australia to go do a discipleship training school, I was like, God, I cannot do that. Honestly, I took the step, but I took the step very afraid. So I hopped on the plane really scared, but it was one of those things where I knew that something in my life needed to change. I was still having panic attacks in my lectures and different things like that, and just was almost feeling disappointed in myself and felt like I was disappointing God by not walking without fear. I was really discouraging because I thought even by coming here that something would change, and it felt like nothing had. And that was just really hard because then I was wondering like, how can God ever use me if I can't just get over this? I remember this one week on my discipleship training school that God really distinctly spoke to me and just said like, Lorna, like I didn't create you to be fearful, I created you to be brave. And that just really shocked me because I couldn't imagine that to be true. And then I felt like God told me to do something that really scared me. And I realized in that moment that I had a choice where either I could obey God or I could keep living how I was living. I ended up getting up in front of my whole class and just like declaring truth over my situation. I just shouted out like, God, I'm not gonna live in fear anymore. And that was when, I felt peace for the first time. I felt like there'd been this like rising pressure inside me, and I was like, I can't ignore this. And then the second I shouted out, it was like, there was like a release, and I was like, it's gonna be okay. From then on, like, it was just like little steps of doing things that normally would scare me and realizing I'm not panicking, seeing that God came through for me. I realized that I could trust Him fully and I could give everything to Him, and that He was going to be faithful and He was going to take care of me. It's been 2 years and I haven't had one since that day. It's incredible. Like I just feel joy like I've never felt before, and so much peace, and just realizing God can use me in ways I never ever expected. Part of what I've been doing since being back at YWAM is working in student communications. So I've been calling people I've never met over the phone and getting to call them into missions and to experience the life-changing experience that I had. It's been really cool because I got to talk to a lot of people with anxiety and get to share my story, and that's given them so much hope and belief that they can also get healing and also live free from fear. So it's cool that when God's done stuff in my life, I can share that with other people and encourage them, and that hopefully they'll want to find the same freedom that I found.